talk to you about ASL, or American Sign Language. Let's start with the basics. ASL stands for American Sign Language. It uses signs made by hands, facial, and body expressions. The main way of communication used by deaf and hard of hearing Americans and their families. ASL is not considered an official language yet. This is the ASL alphabet. Some ASL signs are shaped like different letters, such as C, L, O, and W. In American Sign Language, there can be letters, phrases, and words that are signed. This is a little girl signing, "I love you." Any type of person can learn sign language. My complex question is, how has American Sign Language changed over time? This is where it all began. How American Sign Language changed. People have been using sign language and gestures to communicate for a very long time. In the 16th century, an Italian physician named Geronimo Cardano taught deaf people by writing symbols and matching them with the things they represent. He also created a way. In 1755, Charles Michel de Lépée created a school for deaf people in Paris. He also created a way of communication that used gestures, hand signs, and finger signs. He created this system after studying signs and existing gestures for deaf people at that time. The Lépée system became the leader of French Sign Language. In 1816, a doctor named Thomas Hopkins Gallaudet, who went to Paris, saw the Lépée system and began to use it. The next year, the first deaf school was opened in Hartford, Connecticut. Sign language used there was mixed together with different gestures and signs already in use to become ASL. Another important part of ASL history is Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard is a coastal town in Massachusetts. It had so many deaf people living there at some point that they created their own sign language. When the American School for Deaf opened in 1817, most of the deaf kids in Martha's Vineyard were sent there as groups. The kids kept using MVSL, Martha's Vineyard Sign Language, and eventually it blended with the sign language taught at the school to become what is known today as ASL. In 1864, the National Deaf Mute College opened. And in 1986, it was renamed Gallaudet University after Thomas Hopkins Gallaudet, the founder of ASL. This is a statue of Thomas Hopkins Gallaudet and his neighbor's deaf daughter, Alice Cogswell, which is what inspired him to study ASL at Gallaudet University. Gallaudet University is the only deaf university in the world. Gallaudet University is located in Hartford, Connecticut. Deaf, hard of hearing people can attend. Here are some facts in general about sign language in general. Some Native Americans use a different type of sign language. Not all the sign language in countries are the same. In the U.S., we use American Sign Language. The first use of sign language was in the Ottoman Empire, now known as Turkey, 500 years ago. There is a different type of sign language that babies use. One of the most common misconceptions about ASL is that it's English suggestions, but it's not. ASL uses facial expressions, mouth, and body movements to express themselves while communicating. For example, raise eyebrow, widen eye, and tilt body forward when asking a question. English uses tone of voice to show grammar. For example, raise pitch of voice when asking a question. A sentence that makes a difference in ASL in English is, in English you would say, "I really don't like that car." But in using the grammatical rules of English. I want to eat ice cream now. Both ASL and English has its own culture. In other words, poetry, dance, arts, folklore, etc. Now here's my friend Congresswoman Julia Roberto to talk to you about a new bill.
Baby doesn't like it.
Hello, I am Congresswoman Juju Roberto, and since you guys are the future of our nation, I am going to talk to you about a new bill that I'll present at the next Congress session that will allow ASL to become a foreign language and to give the deaf community the recognition that they deserve. My bill says, preamble, whereas ASL can be used as a foreign language credit in 28 states and is used by approximately 500,000 deaf people in the U.S. and Canada. It has its own culture, history, arts, customs. Section 1. Let ASL be considered a foreign language. Subsection 1. Any educational entity will accept ASL for credit as defined in Section 11. Subsection 2. ASL's rules for phonology, morphology, syntax, and pragmatics, or another, which is ASL's rules for sentence building, use of body language, word order, and how they apply socially, would be considered its official grammar to support Section 1. Subsection 2. The American Deaf Community's arts, history, patterns of behavior, and socialization shall be considered its official culture supporting Section 1. Section 2. This bill shall be effective by the date of August 30th, 2012. If you agree with this bill and you'd like to take ASL as a foreign language credit in high school or college, then please sign this petition to help ASL become a foreign language. Yes. Have a quick word or a book? Write your names. Okay, write your first. Just write your first name. Please don't forget to vote for me. Now back to Julia to answer any questions you have.
As we're doing questions for Julia, go ahead and keep signing her petition if you are in favor of the bill, and now we'll ask her questions.
First, a bill is passing a law. Like a little paper that says like the reasons and what will happen. Okay.
What is the sign language for babies called?
Sign language for babies.
Julia, how is that different from American Sign Language? Is it more because of when you're teaching babies you are doing words rather than letters? Did you find that in your research?
Yes, I found this little picture and it had like words instead of letters, so it would be easy.
Okay.
lots of websites, but it wasn't hard, but it wasn't too easy.
One more question.
Why did you do I was gonna do sign language in general, but I found out that like there was a sign language for almost each country. So then I went deeper and put American Sign Language.
Let's move into compliments and feedback.
I love how you turned in one said yellow and one said blue rose, and I love the hands. Oh, man. Okay. I love the hands and the mounted. I love how you mounted your
Two things. I like how you did the little lines. Yeah, that. And I like how you did bag and bond for sign, and you did yellow to enhance the look of it.
Julia, it's a wonderful example of Quest Quality Standards, which is definitely one of your strengths. But when you added the alphabet, that is a huge wow factor. Did you guys know those are her hands making the letters that she photographed? Julia, that's amazing. When I saw that this morning, when you got out of the car, I was like, oh, I want her to present. It draws you in right away and makes you try to find the different letters. That was a really, really fantastic idea. One of my favorite things that you presented was the description of the word order for American Sign Language versus English. I think when we've all seen someone who is signing before, it kind of piques our curiosity to how does it translate. And so for you to give us those examples is a question I've had for a while that you were able to answer. I like that you gave us the background knowledge, told us about some of the schools and universities, and then really did a thorough job of showing us how it has evolved and changed. I thought it was a great presentation. I liked your creative format as well. Good work.